Yo, yo, yo. Thank you so much for tuning into Conversations with Glo radio show. And again, that is with a K and not with a C. And y'all already know it's not just questions, it's a conversation. But if you want to know more information about Conversations with Glo radio show, also podcast, be sure to tune in. Or no, my bad. Yeah, you can tune in to me on all platforms, but be sure to visit my website, Come Up with Glo, subscribe to the emailing list. So therefore you can get future information about who your girl Glo and the people that I will have on. So make sure you holler at me. But anyway, y'all, I have somebody that is here. He don't consider himself as a podcaster, but that's what
Whoa.
that's what but it is what it is. I'm gonna respect what he says, but I'm gonna allow for him to introduce himself. And y'all already know what we're gonna do. Get into the conversation. What's up?
Hey man, yo, this is Bellamy at TDGP Live, first live studio talk show, Greenville, South Carolina. I'm the host, Bell, man. Thank you, Glo, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Ooh, shout out to you. I'm glad I'm here.
No
And I'm still a
problem.
podcaster. I just do something different.
No,
I'm just
you get
different.
it to me like, no, I am
I'm
not a
just different.
podcast.
I
I'm like,
still,
but you are.
I still respect the genre. I just feel like I wanted to do something different. Just kind of
I
step
mean,
outside the box.
it's nothing wrong with that. And stepping outside the box is who you makes you as the person that you are today. So continue to keep on stepping out the boxes. You feel
For
me?
sure, for sure.
Yeah. But anyway, being that I am, motivating you a little bit, let's talk about the influence within the black community. How do you feel about
Mm.
that?
I feel like we're on a good wave. People are stepping up to the forefront, wanting to be pioneers and wanting to pick up the mantle where I think we left off for about 15 to 20 years. I feel like people aren't scared to be chosen. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, they're not scared to kind of step out there and be like, "Yo, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna break the doorway for this over here." So I love it. I think it's young, it's pioneering, and it's needed right now for sure.
And that's what I was getting ready to say. Like, do you think that it's more of the younger generation that's like really not taking no shit, and it was just like, yeah, I'm like, you're not going to hinder me. I'm going to do basically not what I want to do, but in order for them to succeed and to become young entrepreneurs and stuff, they're basically, do you feel like they're not taking no as an answer? Like, if you do tell me no, I'm going to go over here
So
and
it
do this.
depends. It depends on what you define as the young generation. Like,
Okay.
so for me, I feel like COVID taught a lot of people that you don't need a 9 to 5 to make a bag. It gave us no
Yeah.
choice but to look inwards to find a way to bring in income for our families. And I feel like the generation between like 16 and 17 to 25, they really took advantage of that because think about it. YouTube's been around forever. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? I'm 32 years old. I didn't start my platform until I was like 30, 31. So it's like they jumped on it faster because they knew that they're more rebellious than us. I don't think taking no for an answer is what it is. I think it's more like you can't tell us no bullshit and we're going to stand enough for what they believe in. And I salute it because it definitely turned me up and got me wanting to do something different and change how I view finances and wealth. So shout out to the younger generation. They don't get enough credit. Shout out to them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've done talked about this with months. I mean, like with good bit of people, and it's them, but it's more of also like with me being. I'm not gonna say like being in between the two, but I have a 17-year-old, and I also have my mama. Okay,
Mhm.
my 17-year-old and my mama sometimes go at it. I ain't gonna say like just go at it with each other, but my mama is like, it's kind of hard for my mama to balance to understand like who she is, because again, like you mentioned, like they're a little bit more rebellious than we were growing up. And I'm a little bit older than you, but it was more of, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that. And when you're being told no, that you can't do something, you want to listen. So therefore you won't get in trouble. Now they're not caring if they get in trouble. They're gonna go out here and do it and see what's gonna happen. I also think, do you think that music also influenced the black community as well too?
Yeah, I mean, music's always been something that's kind of like anchored our culture. I mean, all the way to just now, what we're doing with any kind of music. I feel like um, music is the soundtrack for our culture. You feel me? Like you probably
Mhm.
could take 100 songs and put them on a drive and say this is the Black experience. It
Mhm.
probably could be done. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I feel like music is showing more, but I'm also scared of the influence of music right now too, though, because it's
Why
so
you scared?
powerful. I'm not gonna. I feel like when I was growing up, it was cool to just punch on somebody and go on about your day. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I didn't have to murder you and your best friend and your homie and your cousin. I didn't have to do all that. I could just deal with the man at hand. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I feel like
Mhm.
I got 4 sons, and I always teach my sons, punch first. You know what I'm saying? Like I want everybody to go home. And I feel like that's where I need music to come back to. Let's just beat each other up in the parking lot and go about our day.
Mhm. But it's not. I don't feel like with everybody talking about sliding and slime this and that. It's just like, oh, like here I am teaching, like you just said, you're teaching your son to be a certain type of way where your son can possibly come up against somebody that's totally opposite. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you teaching your son to punch first, while this other little dude may got a gun on him. Not saying it, but just saying like different types of influences going on within the area. And it's just like, damn, my daddy taught me to fight first. But it's also like, damn, like you already know this little boy could be carrying something. So I want to have something to protect myself. I'm listening to what my daddy said, but I also want to protect myself because I may got beef with that. So it's just like it's
I
like
feel
you
like it's
wanna
all about how we raise our children. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
Like I feel like the 30-year-olds right now, we're gonna be the ones to try to get everybody to chill out a little bit. 15 years ago, parents weren't involved as much as they are now. You know what I'm saying? Like now, it's
Mm-hmm.
not uncommon to see a parent in the PTA be a coach on something, a woman be, what I'm saying? It's not uncommon. So it's like I feel like with that, talking about influence, I feel like the parental influence is going to take a big sweep back because look at the entrepreneurship right now. It's at an all-time high. So if we can all unplug ourselves from the matrix, that gives us more time to focus in on, like you said. um,
I didn't catch your last part. What you say?
I feel like it's just about how we're going to give it forward, like how we're going to break the chains of we're not going to shoot each other anymore. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I feel like the gun thing is a big deal, but I feel like it starts at home. And I've said that on my platform. It starts at home. It has
Yeah.
to start at home.
Okay, so oh, I'm glad that you said that it starts at
Yeah.
home. So let's go ahead and take a scenario, right? Being that we are talking about influence and we're
Okay,
talking
let's
about
go.
the black community, right? So you're
Mm-hmm.
saying that it starts within the home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about the incident in regards with the lady that the substitute teacher had to fight a student because because that student basically bucked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out, the mama like, this is not how I raise my child. I'm not raising my child to be this way. I'm raising my child to be respectful, this and that and the third. And with
Mm-hmm.
me having a 17-year-old and it just graduated, I understand because my daughter would come home with stories and I'd be like, what the hell? Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Because that's not what I'm teaching you. That's not how I'm raising you. However, okay, let's talk about influence. Influence also comes with peers. You have your peers that is around you, right? And so basically, that's what that little girl had. She had her peers, and she probably knew a couple of phones was out. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel in regards, like when you're saying that it starts within home, but you meet the parent and you know this parent ain't nothing like that? What do you have to say about that?
Uh I'm gonna say let's back it up all the way. Okay.
Okay.
One thing for sure, and two things for certain. Anybody or any parent that gets something with that much national notoriety to it, the first thing they're going to say is, I didn't raise them to do that. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care who they are, the publicist, whoever is speaking for the family in regards to how it looks, is going to tell them to say that. Now, I don't know this family personally, but what I will say is certain behaviorisms are learned. I don't care what you say. If I took a person, a baby, and I put the baby in the center of China, that baby would not come out speaking English. So the behaviorisms of that 17-year-old girl, she showed that in other places. That was not a one-time incident. That wasn't a one-time, oh my gosh, what is she doing? No. What people have to start doing at some point is taking responsibility and accountability for it. That's all it is to it. That's the biggest
Yep.
influence that we really need to get back to is accountability.
Mm-hmm.
It's always somebody else's fault. No, it starts at home. I have 8 children. It's 8 of them. You know what I'm saying? And if one of them go out and do something really, really crazy, guess whose fault it is? It's mine. It's not the music. It's not the game system. It's not none of that. You want to know why? Because God gave them to me. They're my responsibility. They're not Sony's responsibility. They're not Interscope's
Okay,
responsibility.
so we
They're,
taking it to another level. Okay, keep going.
it's just I feel like, man, influence and accountability go hand to hand. The problem is we gave too much power to influencers who are telling us not to have accountability, to blame society, to blame the world, to blame this person. No, you can't point fingers and they don't point back.
I'm telling you, I just said that. I
Facts.
just said that. But just from me being a parent, okay,
Mm-hmm.
of a 17-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and when she would come home and be like, boom, 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 and then my mama would be like, well, she get it from you, and I just be like, well, damn, like, I don't act that way, and she'd be like, you can sometimes, but it's just like, but you should know and you should have the respect not to actually come at an elder like that. So I definitely get exactly where you're coming from in regards, like, it starts within the home in regards with it, the behavior is learned.
Mm-hmm.
So if she's learning to go from a 0 to 100 real quick, because she done saw me go to,
It doesn't have
zero
to
from a
be.
hundred.
I'm not going
Just
to blame the family, but what I will say, there is somebody who has a lot of influence on that child, and that mannerism was learned there. Think about it. Humans are a slave of habit. That's
mhm.
all we are. Repetition over and over again, development and growth. So if somewhere in her development she learned that that was okay, and the person who was in charge of managing the behaviorism, I don't know. It just that's the influence. I feel like I'm super pressed in my kids' lives, like super pressed. Like I talk to my kids more than I do interviews, more than I talk to anybody. I'm talking to my kids, and I
Right.
feel like that's like I said, accountability. The influence starts here. That's what the influence starts. You got to start here at the home. If everybody took care of everybody's home, like you take care of your home, I take care of my home, they take care of their home. Everybody home. So where's the influence? That's just
I
all
also
it is.
feel like that it needs to be more influencers within the community.
For sure.
Like it's a balance in regards, because when I was growing up, like I said, I'm a little bit older than you. When I was growing up, the police were involved in the community. It was more people being involved with having like the cheerleading team and all that. In the third, like you had people that you can actually look up to and actually have that mentor. But sometimes it's just like I said, okay, I can also feel like that social media is also an influence as well too. Because again, back to, like having a kid, I can tell you one thing, right? But again, you also have to understand that these kids also have a mind of their own, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I said from the beginning, yeah, I'm going to listen to what my daddy or my mama tell me. That's going to be sitting there. But also, I may want to touch this stove. I know it's hot, but I still want to touch it, because again, at the end of that, with the influence and the accountability, also sometimes comes with consequences. So you're going to have to deal with the burnt hand. My thing is that social media plays a part too in regards with influencing the kids as well too. um because some people, I mean, some things that they see on there, they may think it's cool when you're telling them the opposite, but my friends are doing it, so it do look cool, you know.
I have,
um
I have, I have younger children, so it's like my oldest is 11, and my I've always tried to be the coolest person in their lives the entire time. I'm the dad out there doing the flip off the monkey bar. I'm the dad that'll do your ballerina. I'm that dad. So I feel like as long as I hold that kind of influence on my children, that's my time limit to prep them for what you're talking about later. To your
Mm-hmm.
point, I can tell my child not to do all of this. At the end of the day, they're going to go out there and do such. We did it. You did it. They're going to do for what happens if you do put your hand on the stove. I think people have a bad habit of saying, don't touch the stove, don't touch the stove, don't touch the stove. But nobody really ever talks about what happens after you take your hand off the stove. How do you clean the wound? How do you heal the wound? And I feel like that level of parenting, if we're going that far in depth, they'll be okay. They'll be all
I
right.
like that. Okay, I hope y'all out there, you know what I'm saying, I
Hey,
took a
man,
little
write
bit
this down, man. Bell and Dad
of
group project, bro.
note. I, I hope that y'all, if y'all didn't, don't worry about it. Y'all be able to
We're going to
write
run
it
that back,
down.
bro. We're going to
We're
run it
gonna
back.
have to. We're gonna have to run it back because
Mhm.
yeah, that was that's what we need. That's the influence. We all my life I've been told like either yes or no. Sometimes I never got the explanation behind it. I'm gonna say this. Like I can remember I was just like, oh, I just want to lose. I'm gonna tell my mom I want to lose my virginity, and she'd be like, no, like like telling me when I can. But it was also like, you don't want to do that because it's not. It wasn't no because it was just like, no, you don't want to do that. Oh, you don't want to do that, and it just be like, okay, so why? Oh, it hurt. This and that and the third. Like why? Tell me why. Like, oh, okay, so you don't want to prevent being pregnant or anything like that. Yeah, we talked about that or whatever, but I feel like what you just said, like we just need to once I ain't gonna say like you're giving an explanation behind it because they always say like when you say no, don't give no explanation behind it, blah blah blah. But if it's a
But
life
why? No,
lesson,
but why? Why? Why not? That why? Answer me this. Answer me this.
because
Answer me this.
no is a complete sentence. Why do I have to give you an explanation behind a
Because
decision?
how do they? Ooh, Glow, I'm about to get you. Come here. Come here. Let me tell
No,
you something.
it's different.
Come here.
Okay,
Look.
but I'm listening.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought, Glow. You don't walk into the trap now. Listen. Answer me this. If a child can't raise a child, that's the problem they say keeps happening. It's children raising children. But
True.
answer me this. If a child is asking you a question and you're forever not giving the answer, where do they learn? So
That's
once
what I'm
again,
saying.
who does it come back to? The
The parent
accountability and of
in the home.
your children. You have to over explain to your children. I have no problem explaining to my children. My issue is repeating myself.
Yeah.
I'll explain to you if their development is my fault. If they grow up with an unanswered question, that means I missed something. I did not pay enough attention to get this child. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like when children have problems with mental health, if they're telling you something's wrong and you keep saying no, 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 how do they communication? You have to talk to your children and talk to them again and talk to them some more. It's
Yep.
too much craziness. I grew up in
Yep.
the 90s. I don't know where the hell I'm at right now. I never thought I had to explain some of the things I'm explaining to my children right now.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I can definitely agree. I can definitely agree with that because it's just a whole lot of explaining. But I like you said, I definitely understand and I get that. I was just saying, when you're old, when like not talking to a kid, but like when you're older and as an adult, like people ask you. I mean, you adult to an adult. If you just say no. But I feel like if a child is wanting to know why, I feel like that should be explained because I mean I do that with my kids though. Sometimes they can piss me off in the sense of it in regards of what I am explaining. But if they need the explaining again, I can do that. I'm gonna continue to keep on saying why. But my kids got a bad habit of saying why. And I just like, oh, especially when they know better. You get what I'm saying? If
Mm-hmm.
in a sense of them not knowing better, I am okay with explaining things. But if we on this rodeo about the 15th time and you asking me why again, I'm giving you the same answer, then we gonna have a problem. You get what I'm
I,
saying?
I always make my kids walk me back like how we got here. So like if they're in trouble, I ask why. Why did you get this bad grade? Why didn't you study for this test? Why didn't you? I make them explain it back to me because I feel like if I have to explain for the rest of my life something to you, well, hey,
Right. Right.
makes sense to me.
Makes sense to me. Okay. Okay, y'all. I hope it's making sense out there to y'all. Cause yeah, this was influence can be many different ways. We see the good, we see the bad, we see the ups, we see the downs, but it's all about what you're taking in and all about what you're doing within your household as well, too. Also, just know a kid is going to be a kid, a grown up is going to be a grown up,
That's
a teen is going to be a teen. It's going to be whatever it is, but also reflect on back when you were that child or when you was that teen or when you are that adult, that younger adult. You get what I'm saying? So influence in the right way. Okay. All right, y'all.
positivity, more love, more life. Keep
I'm
screaming it. Ain't
telling
nobody
you,
listening to me.
Okay, well, that's my spiel. But anyway, Marcus, if you want to tell them where they can find you at to get some more of this, knowledge that you done gave out tonight.
On the Dad Group Project channel, streaming on YouTube. I am the host of TDGP Live, Bell and Zell, Bellamy's Random Rants, all kind of other crazy stuff's coming. Just type in Bellamy. I'm the only one outside of Bill. Just type in Bellamy, I'm gonna pop
You
up,
know what?
man.
I was just thinking that because I was watching How to Be
How
a
to be a
Player.
player? Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, Bill Bellamy, okay.
You know what's
Oh,
crazy though? Like the only reason I even went by that name is because Bellamy in French means beautiful friend. Google.
okay.
I mean, it's my real name too, but I ain't an actor. I ain't no actor. This is my real life. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Y'all hear him. It's his real life.
Real
Make
life.
sure y'all
Hold
go
on.
and subscribe to his podcast on YouTube. That information will be available for everybody. But again, I do want to thank everybody once again. Thank you so much, Marcus, for coming out and
Thank you
swinging
for
it through.
having me. For
No
sure.
problem. No problem. We're going to have to run it back again. But again, to the people that's out there listening, thank y'all so much for tuning in to Conversations with Glo Radio Show. Y'all already know how to get at me, but if you don't, make sure you go subscribe to the email list at convowithglo.com, and therefore you get future information. And until then, in the meantime, y'all know where to catch me at. Make sure to tune in to Conversations with Glo Radio Show podcast. Peace
I
out.
appreciate you.
Appreciate you.